Well, I think after I do this talk here, it'd be enough for journal entries for me to enter into my journal, because I really got to concentrate now on learning to play my guitar. And sometimes things take for me kind of a full concentration, especially if I'm on a mission. And I can always come back to my journal, and I will. But this is just what I'm feeling right now. And I think after I do this here particular entry, I'll kind of wrap up a good chapter of the first and the foremost things for me. And so, what I want to do, I want to make reference to, of course, what I talked about last time, and I want to make reference to my dogs, and I want to make reference to this situation between this guy named, I can't remember his name, is Paul Nolan or Richard Nolan. Last name is Nolan, Nolan anyway. And he made an album for in commemoration of George Harrison, from the Beatles. And George is dead now, but after he died, this guy Nolan, met him when he was playing with his couple of people outside, and where George Harrison lives in that area, and where his house was. And so George invited him over to play, because this guy was playing a kind of music that was unique, and was original with them. And so it's not like they were like a cover band for the Beatles, or just playing covers and stuff. They were original, and George liked them and heard them and invited him over. And then his George's wife, I think her name was Olivia, she assisted in what the guy wanted to do, and that is make some songs in behalf of George, and put out an album, and so he did, and it's called For the Love of George. And I have him and another guy queued up. I got it on my TV on pause, and I'm gonna just it's musical, because see what George did is, here I'll show you. He wrote I gotta take pictures. See. Okay. Wait a minute. Upside down. Well, I can't tell if it's upside down or right side up or what. But anyway, it says I'm a little old and weary, but I've got fresh strings, a well-oiled fretboard, and a bit of music left, Treat me kindly, play me true, and I'll give you everything I got. I see George, left that note, for whoever might, play his guitar. And this guitar was, one that he used a lot. Of course, he had more than one guitar, but, one that he used on certain songs and everything. And he put that note on this guitar, and anyway, so Olivia Harrison, gave this guy by the last name of Nolan some help, and she let him use this guitar. for the music. And see he like see he she also gave him, like, if you let's see. Oh, okay, see, that's an envelope. That's an envelope right there. And it has on it just a bunch of chords that George wrote down for a song that he never actually put out, but he wrote it on the back side of an envelope, and that's his actual handwriting, and he just wrote down the chords. And I mean, you look at his handwriting, and nothing. It looks like a kid's handwriting or something. I mean, nothing special or anything like that. And he's I mean, you look at that and you realize that this person is down to earth. And that's the other aspect I want to talk about is in this here last talk is children, because it has to do with what I was talking about last time. Not treating people any special way just because of their status, but I mean, not like for, I don't know, ulterior motivation or something like that. But not that you don't show proper respect, like you're going for the judge or a teacher or whoever. I mean, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God. I mean, that's what Jesus said. So but anyway, see, that being said, the real spirit of what I was trying to say last time is being childlike, and I'm going to explain that. But I just wanted to say about my dog. So that note from George Harrison about his guitar. See, I could say that same thing about my dogs. Well, no. What I was thinking is that's what my dogs are saying to me. Yeah. See, okay. Let me just read it again. Yeah, this is what my dogs are saying to me. Dang it. All right, I'm a little old. My dogs are a little old and weary, but I've got fresh strings. The strings of their hearts are fresh. Okay. A well-oiled fretboard. That means I don't care how old I am. Dog talking. I'm still going to jump into action. Okay? Well-oiled fretboard and a bit of music left. So. So treat me kindly and play me true, and I'll give you everything I've got. See, I know that's what my dogs say to me. Treat me kindly, play me true, and I'll give you everything I got, and they will, because they're like that. They're loyal, and children are also like that, and it don't have to be complicated. Well, better, I mean, just try to look at things simply, simply. And so, Jesus said, allow the little children to come to me, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, see, as a child, I'm going to go talk to the President of the United States, and nobody ever told the child that, this guy's the ruler of the United States. He's the president, he's the boss or whatever, I mean, commander in chief. Well, a child ain't gonna have all the fears and all the obstacles and walls, like in Tweeter and the Monkey Man, the walls come tumbling down. But they're not gonna have the psychological walls and stuff like that, and fears of going to talk. They're going to go talk to the president, and they're going to say maybe something like, hello, Mr. President. And Mr. President says, how are you doing? And he's, yeah, I'm doing fine. And when a child asks him, well, Mr. President, what's it like to be a president? Okay. You know, the child's going to talk to the president normally. You know, with questions that might come up in a child's mind. Well, that's all I'm saying. Is you got to remember, people are people, and everybody, puts their pants on the same way. One leg at a time. Some people, might put both legs in at the same time. Like, I don't know, maybe if they're a firefighter, they jump out of bed real quick and they got their pants right there. They put both legs in at the same time. Whatever. I mean, everybody got to go through the same stuff. When you get down to it. So anyway, that's what I was trying to say is, don't be afraid of nobody because they're somebody special. But on the other hand, that's a little bit different than like admiring somebody and knowing, when you consider the source and somebody is literally like truly a great person and you understand that. And, you should give them special regard and try to learn from them. I mean, that's the way I feel about Bob Dylan. Like I got his whole up to 2000. I think his poetry up until 2002. His lyrics and for songs that he put out, and he got the Nobel Prize for Literature. I'm going to read you one of his songs because it coincides with what I wanted to say, and this is my last journal entry for now. I gotta buckle down on my mission, and but I feel good that I did this, for myself, and maybe for you if you ever see it and hear it. But anyway, see, the thing is, if you're I'll read you the thing. It's his song called Back Pages, and the stanza is, I was so much older then, but I'm younger than that now. And it goes through a series of poetic paragraphs depicting certain kind of states of being and thinking, and how he reframed things, because the idea is that as we get older, we realize that we know less. When we're younger, a lot of times, we think that we know everything. Or we get our answers and we think we know everything. But then as you get older, you realize you need to go back to when you were a real little child, when you wondered, like this book here, I Wonder. Hey, you gotta go back to when you wondered. And this is the problem. A lot of times, kind of as you grow up, you get the feeling like you're expected to know the answer. You are expected to know the answer to a lot of things, and you lose actual realization that of wonder, and you quit wondering about things, and you just package them up in your mind and file them in the part of the cabinet that's called irrelevant. Well, as you get older, you realize, I understand what Jesus said when he said, allow the little children to come to me, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, don't, if you're a child, embrace your curiosity and realize that you know a lot. Yeah. Bob Dylan's song, he's saying, I was older than that. I thought I was old when I was young, but now that I'm old, now I'm actually really young. Anyway, I don't know. I was thinking about it. I correlated it in my mind better than what I did, but I'm going to play this tune while I'm reading this that that the guy produced for in memory of George Harrison. I don't think it'd be too loud or anything. And I better turn it down a little bit, maybe. Yeah, probably pretty good. Anyways, beautiful tune, and this guy did it, and he kind of really channeled George in a way. As little Olivia said, sounds just like George. Yeah, would have played it or something, Anyway, so I'm gonna read this. My back page is from Bob Dylan. Crimson flames tied through my ears, rolling high and mighty traps. Pounced with fire on flaming roads, using ideas as my maps. We'll meet on edges soon, I said, proud neath the heated brow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. Half-racked prejudice leaped forth, ripped down all hate, I screamed. Lies that life is black and white spoke from my skull. I dreamed romantic facts of musketeers, foundation deep somehow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. Girls' faces formed the forward path from phony jealousy to memorizing politics of ancient history, flung down by corpse evangelists, unthought of, though somehow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. A self-ordained professor's tongue, too serious to fool, spouted out that liberty is just equality in school. Equality, I spoke their word, as if a wedding vow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. In a soldier's stance, I aimed my hand at the mongrel dogs who teach, fearing that I'd become my enemy in the instant that I preach. My pathway led by confusion boats, mutiny from stern to bow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. Yes, my guard stood hard when abstract threats, too noble to neglect. Well, could have left it on. It's a rain song, but whatever. In soldier's stance, I aimed my hand at the mongrel dogs who teach, fearing not that I'd become my enemy in the instant that I preach. My pathway led by confusion boats, mutiny from stern to bow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. Yes, my guard stood hard when abstract threats, too noble to neglect. Yes, my guard stood hard when abstract threats, too noble to neglect, deceived me into thinking I had something to protect. Good and bad, I define these terms, quite clear, no doubt, somehow. Ah, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. Let me read that last line again. Good and bad, I define these terms, quite clear, no doubt, somehow. Ah, but I was older then. I'm younger than that now. You see, in early days, we think we got it all figured out. As you get older, you realize, well, I'm kidding myself. I didn't have it figured out. But, that's the thing. everybody's still figuring it out, in one way or the other. Challenge never ends, and every day is a new challenge, and it will bring a new challenge, and time keeps rolling on. Well, Apostle Paul said one time, he wrote a letter to one of the churches, he said he couldn't be with him in his flesh, but he was with him in spirit. And, I'm just saying, I'll be with you in spirit. I don't think that your grandfather ain't there with you in spirit, because your grandfather is. That would be me. So, Oh, well, I just, recap it here, this guy, he met George Harrison, and George Harrison invited him over to his house, and it wasn't anything special, but, like all George Harrison's friends and stuff were, famous. And so when this guy by the last name of Nolan went over there and played, started intermingling, he was the only person there that wasn't famous. But George Harrison, treated him like a regular human being, looked down on him or nothing. And same way you would treat a child. Can't look down on a child. You got to get in touch with a child. So I'm telling you, if you are a child, don't think for 1 minute that you ain't got a handle on reality, or a handle on the truth, or a handle on feeling and knowing what's right, and the forces that the forces that drive you, and the forces that try to drive you. Good forces, bad forces. But like I say, little kids have little problems, big kids have big problems. And when you get older, you can find out that most of the time it's not any different than what it was when you were a little kid. So, we're all little kids in a way. We're all. But the important thing, at least that Jesus pointed out, was keep your childlike spirit. And so if you are a child, I don't know, you might have to get a little older until you start reflecting on, your spirit, or what you're like when you're a kid. But special time. It's a special time to be a child. You only get that experience for a short time, and and you're pushed into the world and expected to perform. The challenges kind of become overbearing sometimes, and but the trust in life, and the trust in God, and the faith that things will work out in the best possible way, and always look for that, and work toward it, and believe in it, and hope for it, and pray for it, and move toward it. If you're a child, you just have to understand that what you're going through now, you're going to be going through it for the rest of your life. And I don't know, make it fun. Make it fun And so, you know, I'd kind of hate to quit, but you know, comes a time. And now I gotta turn my attention to, you know, learn how to play my guitar and do some serious concentrating, because I feel like I'm behind. I feel like haven't been concentrating fully, and if I got my mind on something else at all, like I have been on my journal, and actually, because I've been thinking kind of like, you know, I'm talking to my grandchildren, because I hope you see it. I hope you see it. I do love you, and I want to say something to you. I said it. All right. Peace out.